welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast, sponsored by Yards Per Fantasy. I am Stephen Chalmers, joined as always by my partner in crime, Ryan Odell. Before I introduce Ryan, we apologize. Technical difficulties on our end, but here we are. Let's roll. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Glad to be here. Kind of over the mock drafts at this point. We're on the backside of those, so time to start up a new series. We're going to start going through positions to buy. Why not start with one of the most important positions, if not the most important, at the dynasty level for Superflex, the quarterback.
It's called Hidden Gems, ladies and gentlemen. Call them Hidden
Gems. Or in this case.
So, Hidden Gems. Ryan, what do you classify a hidden gem? What do you classify a player that is technically a hidden gem? What are we looking at?
So for me, when I'm going forward with this project on my end, I'm looking at guys that are lower on value that I think that can out-project their current value at the position. That's how I'm doing the quarterbacks. That's how I'm going to be moving forward. If, say, a wide receiver is at wide receiver 32, and he's a kind of guy, or, a little bit on the younger side, a little bit on the low side, whatever it may be, I want the value.
Sure. So, with the quarterbacks, in the top 20 quarterbacks that are ranked in Dynasty, 7 of them played inside the top 12, QB1. So there's a lot of players. There's a lot of players that you can classify as a hidden gem. I'm going to just throw you out a name here. Dak Prescott. I know you're a big Dak Prescott fan. Dak Prescott's value sits at QB 14 right now, QB 15, depending on how you have it gauged. And Dak Prescott he's came in the league in 2016, and I believe Dak Prescott from 2016 to 2024 has 6 QB1 finishes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my first player on this QB buy list. What I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's first on my list. Might as well start knocking them out. But yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned it. Sitting at QB 15 right now, according to Key Trade Cut. But look, he's had no seasons outside the top 10 when he's played in full seasons. He's playing on a loaded offense attached to one of the best receivers in the league in CeeDee Lamb. Look, man, I get, he's getting up there in age. He'll be 31 in the season, but he's still got 4 or 5 seasons left in the tank. Now, I think part of the reason why his value is plummeting is because the talks that the Cowboys might not extend him. That's fair. I would tend to agree with you on that. But here's the thing. This is what I stand on it. Jerry Jones is the type of owner, he's not going to let his team fail ever. And I think as of right now, if you go and get rid of Dak Prescott in the following season, it's the most uncertain season that the Cowboys will have in recent memory. I mean, the transition between Tony Romo and Dak Prescott was seamless. Can we get that out of Trey Lance, who's the current backup right now? I mean, sure, maybe there's a chance, but I don't think it's a risk that Jerry Jones is going to be taking as long as he's alive.
Here's where I think Dak Prescott's value has plummeted. First 5 seasons in the league, over 300 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. After the ankle injury, the year where he led the league in passing yards through week 6 and still didn't play for the rest of the year, led the league in passing yards through week 8. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dak Prescott was on a historic pace that year, by the way, just saying. But mold of consistency, Dak Prescott, like I said, 300 yards on the ground, 6 rushing touchdowns for the first 5 years of his career. Hidden value inside of the fact that he may not have thrown for 30 touchdowns consistently, but he had 6 touchdowns on the ground mixed with whatever it may have been, 24 to 28 passing touchdowns. As we've seen the increased passing volume go up, notice the rushing attempts, things like that. Dak Prescott's had multiple top 5 QB contracts. I'm pretty sure that they don't want to risk those injuries to him as well. He's 30 going on 31 now. Yeah. I expect the rushing to be less, but at the same time, I don't ever expect the passing volume to evaporate. I expect him to be top 5, top 7 in the league for the next 4 or 5 years if he's a Dallas Cowboy in passing touchdowns and passing yardages and attempts.
Yeah, for sure. And just a side note here, this past season's the lowest he's had for interceptions in a full season his whole entire career. He's sitting pretty right now. And you would think coming off a season, I think he was QB3 in some formats, you would think his value would be through the roof. You think he'd be up there with, Justin Herberts and Caleb Williams and all that. But no, he's down in 15 range in the same area as like Jared Goff, which I'm not saying they're bad, but it's like it's just screaming value to me.
Yeah, since 2016, Dak has a interception percentage less than 2%.
Yeah.
The 2022 season was an outlier season where it was above 3. Dak Prescott isn't someone that turns the ball over a whole lot. Those are the things that you're looking for in a staple of a QB. You get him at QB 15, I saw it was a thing where you can lock in Dak Prescott in like the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me. Dak was QB3 last year. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Dak's been QB6, I want to say QB6 or higher 4 times in his career.
Yeah. But I'm all in on Dak this season. Trying to buy where I can while he's down, because he can definitely at least be better than QB 15 for sure. He'll finish top 10 this year, I would imagine.
Pretty solid bet for top 10 season, obviously barring injury. We always have to put that little side note in there.
Yeah.
So the first QB I'm going to talk about, I think his value's increased now that the lucrative contract has been signed, but the thumbnail is Jared Goff for a reason, guys. So let's just bring it up. Last 2 years, Detroit offense, QB 10. This year, QB 7. This was his highest finish as a fantasy quarterback overall in fantasy points and fantasy points per game since 2018, his Super Bowl season. Locked into a 4-year deal. Just want to say that he has rightfully earned this contract. He has played very well. The Detroit Lions, it's revitalized. It's a fun city. It's fun football again. Locked in with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Name anybody else you want. Top 3 offensive line in the game. I don't think there's a better – how do I word this? I don't think there's a better system for Jared Goff to operate under. Yeah. And Dan Campbell, I'd run through a wall for that guy.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I agree with you. Jared Goff is a great value. I think he was both on our boards for this list. I mean, it's easy pickings. But it's like, yeah, dude, he's been an absolute monster since he's been in Detroit. It's completely changed his whole career trajectory, and I don't think it's falling off anytime soon. The weapons around him are absolutely insane.
Yep.
Even Gibbs at the backfield offers him a little bit of value compared to if he had a workhorse back behind him. But as long as he's in Detroit, man, I got nothing to worry about for Jared Goff, especially just on that 4-year deal. It's like what I'd like to see.
Think about it. Laporta, rookie deal. Jahmyr Gibbs, rookie deal.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown locked in the same year, 4 years together. David Montgomery, 3-year deal. He's got 2 years left on his deal together. Offensive line, Taylor Decker's locked in. Next is Penei Sewell. But it's all the core of the system is there, and they're only building. And I just love this team. I love what Dan Campbell has done with this team. I love Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson is the most underrated offensive coordinator in the game of football. He's a very brilliant offensive mind. I think Detroit for 4 years could be a top 5 offense.
Yeah, as long as they're together.
And he comes in at QB 19. QB 19.
Yeah, which is
QB 19. Yeah. That's like 6th round, 5th round.
We take that all day if we can get Goff. Load up on those position players. I mean, we're talking startup value here, but if you can have Jared Goff as your QB2 in season, I mean, you're golden. Yep. He's probably going to see a top 15 season as well. You can probably even push to the top 10.
QB 10, QB 7 last year, back-to-back years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're riding the trends here, QB 10 is well within the range of outcomes. I know you've added some rookie QBs. I know you've had injuries with Anthony Richardson last year as well, and Kyler Murray not playing a full season. I know there's added competition to see who's going to finish overall top 10, but Jared Goff is a QB1.
Yeah, for sure. And you're getting him at QB2 price. But, yeah, moving on. My other quarterback, we're going to knock out 2 each here. We're going Matt Stafford here.
We're
going Matt Stafford. Now maybe maybe this isn't the most savvy quarterback to buy if you're rebuilding. I get that. But if you're contending, Matt Stafford might be probably the best value sitting at QB 27 in Dynasty right now. You figure he's got at least 2-3 more seasons with the Rams, which I would imagine he's successful. I mean, he's got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Well, Cooper Kupp's aging, but still, Puka being there solidifies me for Matt Stafford. And I'm excited for him. He just came off a season where he almost had 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns in 15 games. He missed 2 and still managed to put up almost 4,000 yards. He's an all-time consistent quarterback in the league, year in, year out. Never finished below QB 15 in full seasons that he's played. Injuries, obviously, you miss stuff like that. But, man, Matt Stafford, you got money written all over him.
Yes. Yes. QB 24, we talked about Jared Goff at QB 19. We're now talking about a starting QB at QB 24 here. I know there's 32 starting QBs in the NFL, but at the end of the day, we're putting Stafford next to some people that it just doesn't logistically make sense.
Yeah.
We've seen Matt Stafford have over 8 QB1 seasons since 2009, and we've talked about a lot of injury-riddled seasons under Stafford's belt. First 2 years, him and Calvin Johnson together in 32 games only played 10 games together. After that was a mode of consistency. Then he had a little spurt in LA. But first year with LA, we watched him go QB5, win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We know the team has changed a little bit, but we got to see the LA Rams more on pace and more on par last year. I know Stafford missed 2 games. Stafford played good football.
Yeah, for sure.
This might be top 2 best 1-2 wide receiver combo he's had in his career.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, we had Calvin. Anything's tough to match up against Calvin on the other side, but still, nonetheless, it's wild.
So there's a lot of positive here, man. You got a running back in the backfield, a pair of running backs, but add in Blake Corum to the conversation now. But you have a pair of running back here in Kyron Williams who can really tote the rock and really carry a workload for you when need be.
Right.
Kyron Williams was involved in the passing game as well. You got Cooper Kupp. You got Puka Nacua. You lost Van Jefferson. Higbee's on an ACL tear. But Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are more than capable of carrying a workload for a full season.
Yeah.
This offense is going to be just fun. Matt Stafford's a great buy, especially if you're contending. Late value, you're giving up a mid to late second for Matt Stafford. And me and you had just done that podcast for DFF. We didn't even like the picks after 2-5.
Yeah, it gets tough. And if you could trade Stafford for any pick in that range, I mean, I would imagine most rookie drafts are gone by now. But exactly, that's where the value Stafford's at. And we were talking about that podcast. It's like it's a lot of question marks in that area. I say just go get a proven vet.
What's up, buddy?
Even if he has to stay on your bench.
Yeah, we came in to talk some QBs on this Memorial Day weekend, baby.
Yeah.
Actually, your boy T-Law was going to be on our list, too.
T-Law, yeah, almost.
T-Law almost made our list because you bought him at an outrageous price last year in startups. Now he's going back in. He could be your QB2. You can literally go back-to-back quarterbacks and have Trevor Lawrence as your QB2. That's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He just barely didn't make the cut for me. QB 13 is still low rich. But, yeah, if you can get him on the turn, get 2 QBs, like end up with a guy like Richardson and T-Law. Richardson and T-Law, your money. Not on the list, I'm out.
Yeah, I just I'm not sure he's necessarily quote unquote a buy. I do have him I do think he's a good value right now at QB 13.
Yeah.
I think that's a phenomenal value for T-Law. Last player. Now this is disrespectful. I don't care what you say. QB 28. Aaron Rodgers.
You're gonna have to preach me on this one. I'm not on there. I'm not on board with this one.
All right, man. You don't have to be on board. This is QB 28. You can give up literally a late second-round pick, almost a third-round pick for Aaron Rodgers, the baddest man on the planet.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
This is probably top 3 QB we've ever had the privilege to watch. And it's unfortunate that his season ended 4 minutes into the first game last year. Remember, we were watching that game together. We were watching it. It was crazy. 4 minutes in, Achilles snaps. But what I like about the injury is it happened so early that we had a full year to recover. I loved what the Jets did for protection schemes wise. I love the Tyron Smith addition. I know he's not healthy all the time. I know he's going to miss games here and there, quote unquote, but he's an all-pro tackle. It is what it is. Yeah. Olu Fashanu, great pick at 11. Was very, very proud of that pick. I love the beef and the addition of the beef up front for Aaron Rodgers. We have a interesting offense here. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, top options at the wide receiver, running back position. Mike Williams, we'll see what he's like when he comes back from the ACL. Malachi Corley. I like Aaron Rodgers. There's just no other way to put it, man. We're talking about multiple-time MVP. We're just talking about an elite QB.
Yeah.
For a third-round pick.
Here's my thing with Rodgers, and I agree with you. The talent is there. The team around him is there. He's got Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. I'm not saying that he can't produce a top 15 season, but he's also one of those guys where it's like every year, it's like, is he going to retire? Is he gone?
He has to go.
I think
he's got to go meditate, bro. He's got to go.
Yeah, I think if you're buying Aaron Rodgers at this point, you have to be a heavy contender.
Sure,
have to be. Otherwise,
I'm fine with that. I don't think
I'm good.
But the thing is, like, if Aaron Rodgers is this cheap, regardless of who's buying him, I could be that rebuild, throw you that random second. That second could be the 2-9 right now. You're going to sell me Aaron Rodgers. I get 2 years. I'm going to say 2 to 3 of what Aaron Rodgers has left. I get 2 to 3 years of Aaron Rodgers for free. Yeah. Because like we said, these dart throws in the back end of the second going into the third round, that's what it is. It's a dart throw.
Right.
Now happened you had traded a pick last year and you gave up like a third and a fourth for Aaron Rodgers after the Achilles tear. And that pick just so happened to be Puka Nacua. I'm sorry, that sucks. But those instances don't happen very often. This is Aaron Rodgers. This is a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. The dude just didn't stop playing football. He doesn't forget how to play football. I love this dude. The buy is there.
Yeah.
I also
agree, but disagree. But I respect your boldness on that one.
Honorable mention, by the way. One honorable mention.
Oh, I got an honorable mention for you.
Bryce Young. QB 21. Bryce Young. Love everything the Carolina Panthers have done for him this year. Wholeheartedly agree that they have put the best effort of what they had from going off and losing that trade for Bryce Young so drastically to what they were able to do this offseason. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I got no problem with Bryce Young buying. I mean, you look at it last year. He was probably cracking the top 12 for quarterbacks in Dynasty. Now he's all the way down to 20.
21.
21. I mean, it's tough because he looked really rough last year.
That roster was bad.
But I was going to say, the roster was rough. He adds Deontay. We'll see what Jet can do.
Jonathan Brooks, Jatavian Sanders.
Well, we'll see what Sanders can do. I don't think he'll be much of it. But yeah, Brooks, another good addition.
Robert Hunt, best free agent offensive lineman on the free agent board.
Yep.
Multiple free agents to the offensive line. Dave Canales, a great coach to come down and coach. Yeah. Very excited. Very excited.
Here's my hot take on a quarterback to buy. And I'm not talking this guy's probably going to sit on your bench, but for the value you can get him at, I'm throwing it out there. Sam Howell to Seattle is kind of interesting. You could disagree with me on this one, but I think Geno's job is in danger. And you can look at me and think I'm crazy with Sam Howell. He peaked at QB 15 in the middle of the season. He had no offensive line last year. He had no time to process anything. If you can find a little, just a little room, Gino goes down, and he gets to play with DK Metcalf, JSN, Tyler Lockett with a decent offensive line, I think we can see a little bit of revival out of Sam Howell. Now, is it a long shot? Absolutely. But when you're talking QB 36, 37, can't remember off the top of my head, might as well swing for the fences.
See, I thought you were going to say Will Levis. Because I actually like Will Levis, too. I do like Will Levis.
Yeah.
Sam Howell.
It's a bold one. I get it. But, I mean, hey, dude, we saw it 2 seasons ago. He looked pretty good, man.
He did. I mean, it's hard to overlook 96 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know many QBs that have been sacked 96
times.
That's a lot of sacks. It's a lot of sacks, dude.
For what you can get him for, I think it's worth a shot. To
Sure.
be honest, you can probably just tag him on any trade you do, and the other owner would be like, take him.
And I saw this take on Twitter before we get out of here. Anthony Richardson, QB9, Caleb Williams, QB8. Who are you taking?
You know me. I always take the proven. Actually, I can't really say that Anthony Richardson's proven because we saw him get injured so quickly.
4 games.
4 games. But he looked really, really good in those 4 games.
Sure.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure he finished in the top 5 probably twice in that span. Yeah, twice in that span. And it's just off the top of my head. But it's like, dude, his upside is insane. He still has Michael Pittman. And Adonai Mitchell comes into play. He actually gets to play with Jonathan Taylor now. I mean, we'll see what they can do. I like AR a lot. I think it's honestly razor thin. You can tell me that you would rather have Caleb Williams, and I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. But I'm assuming you're on the Caleb side.
I was just curious. They just posted. I saw a thing on Twitter about it today.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Where you at with it, Caleb?
I'm actually Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, wow, surprising. But yeah, I think I'm on the AR side there. But it is relatively close.
Well, that's going to end it for our QB segment. Had a solid little 22-minute conversation about some quarterbacks. Next, the running backs.
God, the running backs, man. It's going to be a tough one.
Nah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's fair. The running back market is just so bad right now. It's in shambles, honestly.
It's pretty easy. We'll be all right. Running backs, then we'll go into wide receivers and tight ends the week after. This is my short week, but obviously Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. Going into my long weekend here. So we're just going to do running backs on Tuesday, then we're going to pick it up the week after. So for everybody that was here, I know it is Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys had a great time with your family. I hope you guys had a fun time celebrating the holiday. Just be safe. Yeah. And if you were here with us for tonight, we appreciate it. Brian, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I mean, you kind of touched on it. Thanks for all those that tuned in tonight. We appreciate you per usual. Hope you enjoyed this one. We're getting a little bit more spicy with the takes. I think we took a lot of safe outs here, but I mean, if we're being honest, everybody we talked about is at a great value right now. Go get them if you can. That being said, I think that's all we got for the night.
Oh, Baker Mayfield, by the way.
Baker gives me Geno Smith vibes.
So I don't like Baker Mayfield. But other than that, as always, if you like what you saw tonight, like, comment, most importantly, subscribe. We do have a quick comment coming in.
Real quick, we'll adjust my boy Calvin down here.
How many rookie running backs do you guys think will be relevant next year, as in like the 2024 season coming in or 2025?
I'm assuming he means we talking about rookies
this season.
You talking about rookies coming in, and that changes the whole conversation.
Yeah.
But as of right now, for me, it's a pretty short list. Bijan, Gibbs.
25.
Grease. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. The 25 class? Or are we talking about the 2024 class going into 2025? Because the 2025 class is loaded.
Yeah. 2025 class, it's going to shake things up. I mean, you got Judkins who probably
rookies that came in this year. Okay, so we're more specific here. We got the rookies that come in this year for next year. Okay, off the top of my head,
rookies from this year. Okay,
100%. I said it last year, or I said it last week. Jonathan Brooks going into the fantasy championships is going to be relevant. I don't think you're going to see the full Jonathan Brooks until the end of this year, early next year. ACL tear, I know it's a clean knee tear, but still be patient.
Yeah.
James Conner on a 1-year deal. I do see Trey Benson getting some run this year, later in the year. I do see Trey Benson being the running back in 2025 for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, he kind of stole my thunder with Benson there, because I do think if you can get Benson, he's probably going to make a pretty good run for you. If the Cardinals are making a run for the playoffs, I think you can see him get those fresh legs into the season, really get that offense back up to speed. Yeah. He's on watch for me at the end of the season. You see guys like Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins break at the end of these seasons. I think you could see something similar to Trey Benson this year behind James Conner, who I think turns 30 in the middle of the season. So he might be worn out by that point.
Also, two of my sleepers, Tyrone Tracy, big name for me. Big name for me. I know Devin Singletary signed a 3-year deal, but Tyrone Tracy is the running back to keep your eye on late in the year going into 2025.
Yeah.
Lastly, me and Ryan are huge on this guy, Kamani Vidal.
Yeah, he's a little bit more of a long shot, I think, just because given the value. But here's the thing. In that room, he's got Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is made of glass, and Gus Edwards does not profile as that workhorse back that I think Harbaugh is looking for in this offense. And then you have Vidal who's coming in from Troy, who's a dog in that offense, profiles as a 3-down back guy, can catch the ball in the backfield, can be there on all 3 downs. And it's going to take a little bit for him to get some action, but I think at the value you're getting him right now, at the front and fourths and the thirds, I think is really, really good value.
Yep. Those are the 4 running backs that stand out to me. I would say Blake Corum, and I do think Blake Corum is going to make a splash in this offseason due to the foot injury to Kyron Williams. I do think he's going to close the gap in the competition. But still, we said the same thing with Zach Charbonnet last year. We said the same thing with Tank Bigsby last year. Why use significant draft capital on a running back if you don't plan on using him? And those 2 situations panned out the way they did. Yeah. So I'm weary about Blake Corum. Braylon Allen, unfortunately, gets drafted to the Jets. That's rough. Aldrick Estime, I do think, could have a role, but I'd rather own Jaleel McLaughlin behind Javonte Williams. And Jalen Wright, unfortunately, you get to play with Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert, who just signed another 2-year deal. So those are the 4 running backs that I really look out for: Benson, Jonathan Brooks, Vidal, and Tyrone Tracy. Also, Ray Davis. I do like Ray Davis.
Ray Davis, I think, could be the thunder to James Cook's lightning, but I also don't see that being like a huge role given that offense. I think he's more of like a more for the team than it is for fantasy. Right. But
yeah. So now the 2025 class, we'll talk about that later on. Those running backs are serious.
Yeah, those guys have some issues. There's about 4 or 5 of them next year too. But all right, I think that about sum it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. There's a lot of running backs I like for their value in this class. I really do. They're not great. This class isn't great by any means, but I really do like this. I really do like the running backs for the value.
Yeah.
Again, like we would always say, if you like the content, like, comment, most importantly, subscribe. Yards Per pushed over the 2K subscriber mark, so we sincerely appreciate that. It was a great time. All the team over there, we appreciate all the added support. Everybody that does what they do with the Yards Per team, you guys are awesome. So we appreciate you guys. Keep grinding. Same thing. On that note, we're going to call it a night, and we are